Well, sometimes it can be confusing when we should provide positive feedback with our dogs. A common theme that I've been seeing in the past weeks is people giving a lot of verbal praise and reassurance and so forth after they've interrupted the dog doing something they didn't want. So, for example, let's pretend your dog is not allowed on your couches, but they jump on the couch. You're like, off, and they listen and they get off. And then people are like, good dog. Or another example is jumping up. Dog jumps up on me. I tell them to get off. They get off, and then I pet them right away. So the reason why I discourage this behavior from the human is because it's a bit confusing. Now, you can believe me or not, but I'll provide you some, insight into why I think it's better to do it a different way. Dogs sometimes learn behavioral cycles. And what this means is if you have a handful of behaviors close together in time, the dog will actually learn the cycle of behavior, not necessarily the behavior you want. So to highlight this, let's use jumping up as an example. Dog jumps up on me, I tell them off, then I ask them to sit, and then I pet them. In the dog's mind, often they will think of jump up, sit, affection, not sit, affection. So when you reward right after your dog has done something you didn't want them to do, you run the risk of actually reinforcing the behavior you don't like, because it won't reduce in frequency if the dog thinks it has to do all three, jump up, sit, affection, for example, to get your attention. So the other example is with jumping on the couch, right? Let's say you got no couch privileges. You say off, they get off. Cool. People are like, good dog, you're such a good dog. And then good dog gets all wiggly and okay. They might think they have to jump on the couch to get told off to get attention. So what I want you to do is be more clear. Like really in those moments when you followed through, the only one that deserves any praise is you. You're like, yeah, good job me. I followed through. I was consistent. Okay. Now, by all means, I want to give my dog positive feedback, whether it be verbal or affection or whatever the circumstance is. But I have to choose when I'm going to do that. And it's just going to have to be at least 30 seconds or more after an undesirable behavior. So my preference is that the dog is doing something completely different, not associated with the undesirable. So with jumping up, they jump up, I tell them off, I go and do my business. The dog walks away and lays on their bed and stays there for 30 seconds or 2 minutes. Then I go over to them, soft, calm, massage like pets. So then I'm reinforcing to get my attention, lay down. So this concept really has helped for people to be more clearer to their dogs, because from the dog standpoint, it just can be a little bit confusing where you're like, no, yes. And if your feedback is too close together, you could be unintentionally teaching them what you don't want them to do.